Seeing as there's a break in the action, I'll call this meeting to order. The November meeting of the Weymouth Conservation Commission. All right, excellent. Somebody else want to read the
Oh,
agenda?
hey,
What is it?
Chuck is all over it.
Okay, excellent.
Hey?
All right. First issue is minutes. There's no minutes to review. Second item is 60 Old Colony Drive, notice of intent for the public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing, sir.
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, you could please come on up and introduce yourself. Move that closer.
Oh, well.
Hi there. I'm Nicole True.
Jonathan True.
John, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
All right.
Get up.
So, you guys give us a little bit of information on what's going on?
We're looking to put an addition on the left side of our house now. It's
Yep.
for my in-laws, Maureen and Tony Del Preet. They live in Weymouth now, but they're looking to sell their house and they want to move in
Okay.
to the addition.
Sure.
All right, and you've reviewed this, Andrew?
Yeah, yep. So we flagged it in building, as we often do with these residential projects.
Yeah.
There's a small drainage ditch on the left side of the home between 50 and 60. So
Yep.
that's the jurisdictional wetland. Let's see if I can get a picture of it for you guys. So that's it there on the other side of the fence. I know
Okay.
it's kind of tough to see. But anyways, it's call it a drainage ditch that discharges into a culvert. It's very similar to, I think it was 40 Old Colony Drive
Yeah.
that we did not that long ago.
Yep.
So the addition is on an existing grassed area. It's located really just outside 25 foot to that small wetland.
Okay.
I generally don't have any concerns with it. It's very similar to any other addition that we would do.
Yep.
I would recommend issuing an order of conditions with conditions for erosion controls around the limit of work, as well as stockpiling of erodible materials.
Okay, and you've discussed that with the applicants, Andrew? You guys are
Yes.
aware?
And I've talked to
and
the
you're good
builder
with it?
about that.
Okay.
Any comments from the commission at all?
Nope.
Any comments from the public?
Motion to
Right,
close the
hearing
public
none.
hearing, sir.
Whoop. So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to issue a order of conditions along with the conditions mentioned here tonight.
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You'll
Happy Thanksgiving.
send over all the
You also
conditions and
have
everything?
Yes. Yep. As always, later this week we'll get it out to you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, item number 3.
Next item, item number 3 is 211 Main Street, notice of intent for the public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing, sir.
So moved.
All right, all in favor of opening the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. What's going on?
Aye.
You guys wouldn't mind introducing yourself for the record?
Jonathan Kaufman, I'm here representing Weymouth Main Street LLC.
Okay,
And I'm Phil Henry with Civil Design Group. We're the civil engineers on the project.
excellent.
So what I'd like to do, I just want to make sure this is up and running here. Okay. So we're here before you at for 211 Main Street, which is the old Honda dealership. I'm sure everyone's familiar with this site here. What we are proposing, we're here tonight because there's work within the 100-foot buffer zone of 2 off-site resource areas.
Okay,
We've had multiple technical review committee meetings, which Andrew's been attending. We have our zoning meeting tomorrow, our zoning hearing tomorrow. We've gotten some comments back from DPW and other technical comments.
sure.
Those are not reflected on this plan because we
Okay.
wanted to sort of submit and get quote unquote all comments and then either make 1 or 2
Yeah.
rounds of revisions.
Sure.
But I can verbally describe what we will be doing that is not described or depicted on
Okay.
the plan tonight.
That'd
So
be great.
what I'll do is I'll start on this site plan, which is like a, sort of a clean plan, and then I want to bring up directed discussion on work within the buffer zone. So essentially, I'll start here. Main Street's along the bottom of the page. This thing just popped up here. Main Street's along the bottom of the page here, Winter Street, and then Front Street. So as you can see, it's sort of like an arrow-shaped property, sort of uniquely shaped. There's actually part of the project, I believe it's 645 Front Street, which is this sort of bow tie shaped lot back here. You only see half of it because we're not proposing any work on the northerly part, which is comprised of the overhead transmission line. So the assemblage of the two lots is 3.2 acres. What we're proposing is, What we're proposing is a 22,000 square foot supermarket or market located in this gray hatched area here. And then we have a proposed drive-up shop to get coffee and I don't, if there's any
Just
food.
coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just coffee. And then there's an accessory building or storage building just to the south of it, I'll call it, fronting on Winter Street here. We are proposing so if you're familiar with the property now, there's really there's a few defined curb cuts, but for the most part, it's sort of a wide open area, particularly on Winter
Yeah,
Street.
that whole Winter
Yeah.
Street.
So we're going to be defining, sorry, my mouse keeps jumping. We're going to be defining the curb cuts. We're going to have one curb cut on Front Street here and one full access curb cut on Main Street here. There'll be 97 spaces on site, including the 19 to the rear here. The drive-through will be a double drive-through here that will support up to 13 car queue. So we don't really think that the queuing will extend past their designated drive-through lane. So I understand what I'm describing for the most part is not within conservation's jurisdiction or perhaps maybe even interest. I just want to give you an overview and then we can dive
Okay,
in.
thank you.
So what I'd like to do now, though, is really dive in on two figures here. This is the demolition and erosion control plan. It's basically the existing conditions plan that has erosion control and demolition notes on it. The reason why I want to show this to you is because we think it's a clean plan that will, shows the existing conditions. And what's shown here in this pink highlight is the on-site area within the 100-foot buffer zones. So there's a drainage ditch to the north here that has a resource area associated with it. Yep. And then there is a resource area on the west side of Front Street for which the 100-foot setback extends back onto the property. If you're familiar with the site, everything in this pink area is essentially asphalt, and it just drains unimpeded into the wetlands. So most notably, on Front Street, the curbing here is intermittent, and Front Street in this part is actually super elevated. It actually drains away from the site. So it's not unreasonable to assume that a portion of the on-site, currently the on-site watershed drains across Front Street. Back here, there's actually a steep drop-off behind I'll call it the remnants of the Honda building here. There's actually a fairly steep drop-off that goes right into the drainage. There's some intermittent, like, wooded area here. And then this area here actually drains towards this inside V here and then makes a sharp left turn as it travels or easterly or page south to the wetland here. So just trying to give you some watershed area. What you'll see on this next slide is the same pink area, but this is the grading plan underlaid. And I wanted to describe how we're both treating stormwater, collecting stormwater, and what we think is improving the area within the buffer. As I mentioned, all existing areas within the buffer, on-site areas, are currently degraded. We are transforming some of that area back into landscape area, most notably on Front
Yeah, all
Street.
the buffer.
And I'll note that all of our on-site landscape calculations, of which we're decreasing 3/4 of an acre impervious in the proposed condition, it does not include, I'll call it the band of right-of-way shoulder between back of sidewalk and the right-of-way along Winter Street and Front Street. So there's actually extra
And that'll be
landscape.
vegetated?
That'll all be vegetated. So it's going to be grass. It's
Yeah.
not going to be trees.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't think the city would want us planting anything in there, but it will be grassed. In this area here, as you can see, much of the 100-foot buffer is the new building. However, we can honestly say that not only are we transforming much of the impervious area to non-impervious, we're not getting any closer to the wetland with any impervious area as well. So, and then I would say a third of this buffer here is getting transformed back into landscaping. And then this area here, Andrew and I were just having a discussion about this. This area is interesting because currently it's an existing parking lot or an accessory or auxiliary lot that actually, if you follow my mouse, extends off property. So there's a triangular wedge here that's part of this offsite property that
The gully.
somebody, I don't know if it was encroachment on Honda's part or if it was is this the AutoZone?
Mavis.
Tire company.
Tire
Mavis
company.
Tire.
I don't know if they were.
Town
Yeah,
fair.
Town Fair Tire. I don't know if they were there, and it looks like somebody tried to remedy some stormwater control. There's like a pavement ditch here that's trying to get water into the drainages. Needless to say, that's not on our property. However, the conversation that we just had, and I'll steal some of Andrew's thunder and proactively try to bring this up. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Andrew, but essentially what we just discussed was in this particular area here, we sort of left it as is, I'll call it. And what I mean by that is because we were married to asphalt along our lot line, we basically maintained the pavement along the lot line. However, we made an effort to increase landscaping along the westerly edge or towards, abutting the abutter. With that being said, Andrew noted that stormwater runoff, say a drop that falls here, would flow onto the abutting property, this sort of asphalt wedge area,
Yep.
unimpeded and untreated. This site, I think, is clearly considered a redevelopment, and generally the standards on redevelopment is, you don't make anything worse, you don't make anything adverse, and you try your best to make it better. And I think, for the most part, we did that, I'll call it on the front parcel. Here, admittedly, we sort of maintained the status quo. However, with that being said, just looking at this for a few minutes, as you can see here, we have to tie into the existing grades along the lot line. You'll see these proposed contours, which are these black lines
Yeah.
here. Once say this 122 has to tie into this 122, or else a wall needs to be constructed, which I think is unnecessary. So as you can see here, all this drainage flows down into this low point.
Mhm.
We could do. What we can do is here, we could actually extend a curb along this property line and even make it a double-sided reveal curb to act as a backboard and put a catch basin here and then collect and treat at least our runoff on our site. And then we could tie it into this what is a roof drain. We may need to upsize that pipe, but that pipe ultimately goes into the catch basin and goes through our treatment train.
Okay.
So that's probably off the cuff, Andrew, just a sort of a remedy, but we can certainly have discussions offline on a more technical
Is
basis.
the catch basin already there? Or
No,
you're
no, it's
proposing
not.
both?
So it would collect and pre-treat,
Okay.
and then that would go through the treatment train, of which everything, aside from like the area, the westerly part of the site that would arguably flow onto Front Street, everything flows to
Back to the site.
Main Street.
Okay.
And there's a 24-inch line that cuts across Main Street right here, that pretty much all the drainage comes into, whether it flows out of the driveways and gets caught in a right-of-way catch basin, everything comes down to this point. We have an upstream water quality unit here that is going to significantly increase water
Okay.
quality, which there is none today.
Yeah.
I do want to mention, I probably should have started off by saying, both of these wetlands actually are drained to a culvert and piped through the property, through existing easements. And that's depicted here. There's a light gray line right here that's crossing Front Street.
Yep.
There's a head wall or a flared end that takes runoff across the property and through our property. This black line represents an upgraded 24-inch line that we proposed to DPW, and this also represents this drainage ditch drains in a southerly direction, and then we pick it up and bring it through an 18-inch line that goes into a 24-inch line. So all of the piping has been sized
Yep.
from a hydraulic standpoint. So we feel that given the current state of this project, we think we are increasing, the status of our on-site wetland buffers and also increasing stormwater treatment to the maximum extent practicable. However, with that being said, through the DPW comments, even though they acknowledge that we don't need to provide rooftop infiltration to meet our recharge standard because the mere reduction of impervious gets you to meet that recharge standard, we are committed to infiltrating the rooftops.
On site?
On-site. So we've done test pits throughout the site, so we have a good idea of where groundwater is and what
Yeah.
type of soils are. It's generally good stuff. It's cobbly, but it's generally sand-based,
Drains.
which probably you see a lot in
Yeah.
Weymouth. So I think we could, infiltrate the rooftop there. And then lastly, despite the fact that the existing drainage system for these two off-site wetlands basically follow the proposed drainage system via easements, I guess on a prior application that never went through, obviously, the DPW had asked that applicant to, instead of cut through the property through easements, to actually stay along the Front Street property and the Winter Street right-of-way so as to circumvent the lot
For
with
future-
drainage, so that should
Yeah,
anything go
future
wrong,
repairs can be done
the
without
on-site
impact.
pavement doesn't have to get ripped up. There's ease of maintenance.
Yeah.
The trade-off is it's a lot more pipe and it's a lot more manholes because you need manholes
Yeah, every
at
time you
change of
turn.
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are exploring that, and DPW actually sent us a plan from the prior application of what they want to see. So, with that being said, I wanted to keep it sort of high.
Was that the Crocker plan?
I think
Crocker.
Uh,
Crocker.
maybe. I don't know for sure, but we have it in our file, so we're going to sort of replicate that.
And you guys would keep the easement or create an easement
So
for the new pipe
that's good
location?
news. That's news to me. That's really good news if they could put it along the perimeter. Has DPW talked to you about upsizing it a little bit larger than 24? I don't,
No, I think they were again, I don't want to speak for them. I
Yeah.
think they were satisfied with the 24 because that's what the circumvented pipe was.
right,
Was
okay.
24. So, you generally don't want to have larger pipes upstream of its connection point. So there's a 24-inch going across Main Street.
Yes, yes.
So you don't want to put like a 36 into a 24. You want
Right.
to
Yeah,
maintain
keep
that.
the 24.
Right.
Yeah, if you keep the 24. Right now it's 18, which is why I think there's some
I
flooding
only-
issues.
I only bring that up because there was some talk with DPW, but if they haven't mentioned it yet in the comments, I'm not sure where they are
Yeah.
in the comment. They have some additional comments they're
Okay.
going to give you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen anything in writing though yet, but
No, no.
Okay.
okay. I mean, our investigation of these pipes was they were, I think there's a flow issue, not like a hydrologic issue. I think there's a hydraulic issue. I think the water cannot get through the pipes fast enough. And I think that's what backs up. So I think combined with the small pipes and the fact that they could probably use a good cleaning, I think the effective area is significantly reduced. So, so I wanted to give the commission a general overview, get into the weeds a little bit, but I'm happy to answer any specifics.
And just for our purposes, it's all traditional asphalt pavement?
Yeah.
Okay, no impermeable?
No,
Okay. And internal roof drains? Or are you guys thinking gutters, downspouts?
it's actually, I believe it, on the Sprouts, the supermarkets, I
Yeah.
think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
There'll be some external ones, and I think there's an internal one
Okay.
right here.
All right, I'm not sure, Andrew, if you have any comments before I open it up for the board.
No, I mean, that was a good overview. This is a redevelopment of a pretty degraded site as
Yeah.
is. So for us, the stormwater improvements really are the big improvement
Right.
here. They're staying within the disturbed areas, so we're not encroaching any further towards the wetland. They are introducing new green spaces, reducing impervious overall. So, I mean,
There was
generally,
nothing there before, there was no green space before, right?
No green space. It actually stretches beyond the right of,
Yeah.
right, and back, like,
Yeah.
right to the back of sidewalk,
Yeah.
so. We're gonna be restoring all that.
Okay,
yeah.
Oh,
So I think generally we look pretty favorably on it. We're waiting for the DPW stormwater review.
sure.
So there'll be some comments. Some of them are going to be some standard just DPW comments about water lines and all that stuff, but there'll be stuff in there for the stormwater as well. I mentioned the area out back previously that he just discussed. I think that was probably going to be one of the bigger things to discuss going forward. Looks like maybe there's a solution there, so
Yeah.
that sounds good. They did have to file with MIPA, I think for a traffic trigger.
Yep.
In our file number from DEP,
Mhm.
they did advise us to keep it open and consider any MIPA comments. However, it doesn't sound like there's going to be any real comments
Yeah,
relative to
relative to-
wetlands,
Okay.
which expected. And they are getting their certificate, I believe, on December 8th. Our next hearing is the 16th.
Yep.
So we would be continued to then anyways. So that's really it. It's just a matter of waiting on the DPW review letter. There may be some revisions that come of it, so they may be before us again at the December meeting. Maybe not if there are revisions that take time. But generally, I think that the project is in pretty good shape from our perspective.
Okay, just another couple of questions. Is there a plan for snow storage, like snow plowing and all that? That's not gonna happen in the buffer, is it?
Before I answer that,
I mean, it's not a huge lot, but,
yeah, so I guess, can I zoom in here? I mean, admittedly, we do have snow storage areas within the buffer,
Okay.
like right here, for
Yeah.
instance. But if I guess I'm willing to, I mean, you probably asked because you probably don't want that. And if that's the case, we can remove that. I think it ultimately becomes an enforcement issue.
yeah.
Um,
And yeah, I mean, that's it, is, as long as you're catching the runoff in that area, so any snow melt gets back into the,
Yeah, there'll be a catch
stormwater
basin
system.
back here.
Yeah.
Um,
That was my big concern, and like you say, it's an enforcement thing, so as long as the O&M plan is tight and,
Yeah.
there's routine maintenance and, all
Yeah,
the
we have an
siltation.
operation maintenance plan in the back of our stormwater report, which has been filed, so, Andrew can enforce that.
Yep.
So yeah, but it looks like that's really the only area. We do have snow storage along Winter Street, which is just touching the 100-foot buffer. We'll do our best to clean that up, but essentially, I mean, you know how plows work, they just want to
Yeah,
just push it
it's
right
the
to the
easiest
side.
place
so-
possible.
But, that's not an excuse, so we'll do our best to, be sensitive to that
Sure.
and, so, yeah, I guess we'll see, we'll make sure that there's no unimpeded snow storage area flow into the wetland.
And then for the two small outbuildings, are those the drain, roof runoff for those?
Yeah,
Goes into the system too?
yeah.
Okay.
Those are, so because just the way the grading worked, there'll be two very small depressions here. You can see the contour circling around on itself here and here. We have 2 yard drains, of which this roof drain and this roof drain will tie right into and then get back into our system.
Okay. Other questions from the board?
You asked them all.
Sorry. Get overzealous. I did my homework today.
Well, the surcharging with the flooding and all that, and now things are changing.
Yeah.
But they're addressing that, so
Yeah, it
but
sounds
that
like-
pipe's pretty small to have anything.
Yeah, it sounds like going to 24 should
Yeah,
fix most of that problem. And you'll increase the volume based on the length, the increased length
exactly.
anyway. So,
That's right, we'll increase the volume, yep.
Yeah.
And we're decreasing volume and peak runoff just
Right.
by,
Right,
yeah, by capturing it. And
by capturing it and just decreasing impervious area.
good.
All right. Any questions from the public? You know, we're ultimately going to continue this, but I wanted to give her any chance to speak if you could. You guys, come on up and introduce yourself. Since you're new here.
We're on TV.
This is exciting in a lot of ways. I kind of looked up Sprouts, and they seem committed to, the community, and that's great. I have some questions on, I guess, is there a landscape plan that we could see, or is that too soon to ask?
That will probably be presented tomorrow night at the zoning board of appeals hearing. So
Okay.
they won't,
So,
they won't do the
did you
landscape.
say there'd be no trees along Winter Street, or?
There is a landscape plan in the plan set
Yeah.
that we could look at.
Oh, does he have it? Yes.
Yeah.
Can we, yeah,
What's your name, by the way?
oh, yeah, I'm Kathy Swain, 134 Mill Street, Weymouth, Mass.
Thank you.
So here's the landscape plan. I'll zoom in a little bit,
Yeah, that
just so that we can, whoops. Sorry about that. Okay. Whoops, oh boy. Sorry, guys. Very sensitive today. All right, I'll stop here. So these clumps areas are like low-lying shrubs, grass and ground cover, and then the icons that look like trees are in fact trees. So we obviously focus the trees along the street and along visible areas. We have grass or mulch that is the ground cover where there's no grasses and, fancy grasses and shrubbery, so.
So there are trees along Winter Street by
Yeah.
those circles?
Yeah, looks like every, I think I put them every 75 feet or so.
So
every 50 to 70.
this area of town is called, I think, Central Weymouth, and let me see. Weymouth has a problem with heat islands and the heat, and where Weymouth is considered in a heat island study a severely impacted area, actually warmer than most communities, and considered almost compared to a large urban area because of that. And part of it is the amount of impervious surface we have and the rooftops that are in that area. So I was wondering if we could really consider more trees to try to green up that area to help lower the temperatures. I don't know if you can do anything with the roof, maybe not a dark roof. I don't know if they could put solar on the roof. Would there be any consideration for a garden roof or anything like that to try to cool the area? This is an entryway to Weymouth, and this store can really send a message. And in the front there, could there be a pocket park at all? So there'd be green out right where you're coming off the highway. Is there any way we can add more trees and try to cool this area? I don't, impervious is, pervious surfaces would be another consideration, maybe for that back portion that you have issues with, at the parking back there. But I just know that we need to do something because we're really, really hot. And they actually measure the temperature in the drainage systems, and they're well over 100 degrees in that area in the summer. So anything that Sprouts could do to get more trees, get more green, and more green infrastructure in there would be helpful to the town as a whole. Oh, and then I had a question. You said grass. Are you going to have irrigation?
Well, we're proposing, we're proposing irrigation, yes.
And will it be a well, or will you use town water?
Good question.
I think the town would prefer a well, not the town water
Okay.
for that. And just quickly, so there will be a pocket park out front there at the
Okay.
intersection
Okay,
of Winter and Main. It will look probably similar to what the Cornerstone
Yeah.
55 and over living facility at the corner of Pleasant and Washington Street
yeah, it's
is.
pretty small. I mean, that'd be a
Oh,
nice
it's-
place to get your ice cream at
Yeah.
Dairy Queen and go across the street and sit
They
on a
have to-
bench.
They have to balance parking spaces and everything else. I mean,
Right.
ideally, I mean, we would like to see islands within the parking spaces with some trees.
Yes,
But I think, given the constraints of the site, I think we can talk certainly about adding more trees to the perimeter
right.
of the
But could
site.
there
And
be a
don't
waiver of
forget-
less spaces, allow less spaces and more
Oh, I
trees?
think that would be problematic, to be honest with you. But I think the site will definitely have more greenery than Weymouth Honda, which I don't think had a stick of greenery.
No,
if
it
I re-
didn't.
if I
It's an
remember
improvement, but
correctly.
it's an opportunity to even improve it more than,
Absolutely, absolutely.
because we need to kind of cool this town down. Thank you.
Yeah, you make a good point based on the study that was done, on heat islands and the like. One of the problems, for example, recently where I live in Bluff Road, they did a wonderful job on doing the roads over, but they used black asphalt. And, they could have done something that wouldn't be such a heat issue, and they didn't think about it. It just simply, that was what the norm was, and they just considered putting in the asphalt. And in the summertime, we're going to pay a price down there.
All right. You can
Yeah,
introduce yourself, sir.
Just,
My name's Tom Jablonski. I live at 516 Front Street, and I'm all for the project. I've done some research as well, and I live right around the corner. Kind of looking forward to it. So, but my concern is I live 5 houses up after the wires going towards the landing on the right-hand side. So in my backyard, there's a vernal pool, I believe, years ago. I believe it was called the vernal pool when I was going to try to do some building. And I see that you have that 24-inch pipe. So years ago, I've been there for 39, 40 years now. Years ago, I had some the sewage put in my house, and they had cemented down in my cellar. And then during one rainstorm down there, real bad rainstorm, water came up into my basement. I just simply had to re-cement it, but the water level had come up. So my concern is, I know there's a 24-inch pipe, and I followed what you folks were saying. Where is that water going, though? Where's that water going? Into the storage drain for the city? Is that what's going on?
It's going into, there's a 20, do you see my mouse here?
Yes.
There's a 24-inch line traveling across Main Street, so I actually think it's probably state highways.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
it is.
crosses the state highway.
Yeah, so when we
So the water's flowing.
yeah, when we analyze stormwater, we take the survey or the existing conditions, and we create watershed maps. To say, okay, where is this water going today? And then it's usually a point, like in this case, or in some cases, it's a line saying it's flowing over a property line. And those are our analysis points. So while we certainly concern ourselves with like further downstream, our main concern is immediately downstream. Because the theory is if we mitigate our flow immediately downstream, i.e. our right-of-way or property line, then that will have a good effect further downstream.
When you say downstream, you mean across the street?
Across
Yeah,
Main
okay.
Street, and then whatever downstream stream it goes into, and then a river, and then eventually the ocean, right? So we can say that we mitigate the peak flow rate. So right now, there is water flows through that pipe at a cubic feet per second. right? We are going to be decreasing that flow by this project. Mind you, most of that water comes from the wetlands, right? So we're not the lion's share of that watershed.
Yeah.
But we're doing our part. And the water that's flowing on our property is going to be treated from 0%
But
to.
Generally speaking, you're flowing, on the map, you guys are flowing from right to left, or, right to lower left.
From, yeah,
You're not flowing up,
north to
towards
south.
the right, yeah, exactly.
Or plan
It's
north
kinda,
to
yeah,
south,
plan
west
north to
east.
south.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the water flows into the wetlands off of Winter Street.
Correct.
So
yeah.
that's where it's going.
Into
The
the Mill
water's
River.
flowing that way. It's not flowing up to where you.
Yeah, so it's going opposite your house, going the other
It's crossing
direction.
over.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, I got it.
I think
Yeah,
he was
it's going away
concerned
from
that this
Front
is gonna have backups onto
Yeah,
his.
Not
okay,
going-
yeah.
It's going this way. on
And
the
and it
page.
actually, because it's gonna be helping the bottleneck that's there now, I think that should help it
Yeah.
further up as well.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. That was my concern, just if the water, there's gonna be.
Yeah,
more
you have
water
enough
down.
water issue with,
Sorry, I
we have a
didn't pick
high
up on
water
that.
table where you are, and that rainstorm just,
Yeah, it's only happened once in 40 years, but it's still.
was that
sticks
like
right
in
here.
2008, 9, that big
I think it was
storm?
before that, yeah. if I'm
It
not
rained for a
mistaken.
number of days and,
Yeah, yeah. But I haven't had much problem. Okay, well, thank you, everybody.
Any other comments from the public? All right, I think, entertain a motion to continue.
Motion to continue this hearing until December 16th, sir.
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Yes, happy
Thanks, sir.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item number 4, other business.
Yep. So I sent around a meeting schedule for the next year. Hopefully you guys were able to see it. Pretty much the same as this year's meeting schedule, last Tuesday of the month, with the exception of November and December due to the holidays. I think it impacts Labor Day, or not Labor, Memorial Day weekend as well too. So I went a week before in May. Any questions or comments? You can let me know now. You can send them via email. If you guys are otherwise good with it, I will finalize it and get it online.
Okay.
Next one, George, number 5 is the herring run update.
Whoa, no fish.
No fish.
Too cold. They're gone. So there's nothing going up, there's nothing going down. That's about it for the herring run update.
Next is the conservation report.
Move through it, you guys. New construction, 24 Lorraine. That was the RDA that we did at the last meeting for the garage. Ongoing construction, West Augusta Walk is wrapping up in the coming weeks, so the revetment work is finishing up, as well as the last pours for the boardwalk itself. The invasive species work and the planting has been completed. They're going to be pulling out of there sometime in mid-December, returning the following spring for a few touch-ups. They have a concrete pad that they have to do down by the base of the walk at the beach, and then they have to do the public access stairs need to be installed in the spring as well. So a few minor things to touch up in the spring, and then the contractor will be responsible for that bank and the stability and the plants for 2 years following that work. So this has been a big project for us for the past year or so. Bob and I have been down there every single week, and we are excited to see it wrap up. And it'll be interesting to see how that bank evolves in the coming years. There's going to have to be, I think, a lot of adaptive management out there. So I'm sure there's going to be future plantings. There's obviously going to be future invasive species management going on. But the idea is that, going forward, the town is going to maintain it in the way that it should be. The LCI replacement over in the Idlewild neighborhood, that work continues. They have had some runoff issues with their temporary construction road that they've installed. They have some solutions to that. So essentially you have a long stretch of construction road that terminates at the toe slope, which is really where the salt marsh is. Some sediment carrying runoff has made it kind of through that erosion control barrier. So what they're looking to do is essentially a check dam kind of halfway down that's going to divert water into an
Slow it
upland
down.
low-lying area. Nothing that can't be managed, but we're on top of it. Snup dam removal. That dam has been removed. Anyone has seen it?
It looks awesome.
Yeah. Project well underway. They're going to be working on reconstructing the banks and the small riffle where the dam was. And they'll be getting into the contaminated sediment removal from the Snup Basin in the coming weeks. And that thing is still scheduled to wrap up mid-December as well. They'll be back in the spring for some minor planting and a few other things.
There was a comment made originally, way back when, I think it was by Phil, that the existing dam problem had created issues with fish not being able to lay the eggs properly and so forth. Did this have any evidence? Probably too soon for evidence, but does this improve the ability of spotting?
It will ultimately, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And was really the whole basis of the
Exactly.
design. Yep.
So it was because we haven't announced that was really a major reason, and it is, a very important one. It helps our whole issue of smoke.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll be certainly keeping an eye on the fish this spring to see if they, how are they navigating this new area.
Should be very easy.
It
In
should
fact,
be.
It's going to open up even more spawning area.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. That's the idea.
Is
So
there any invasive species work as part of that?
there isn't in this phase of it. There are a lot of invasives on site,
Yeah.
and we did discuss it through the permitting process and kind of made a promise to do some. The tough thing is with the invasives that are out there, the only way to really attack them is to do an herbicide treatment at some point. So it is something we might look at,
Yeah.
for next fall, because beyond that, it would require just a lot of manual
And work.
physical removal. For example, the prevailing one out there is Asian bittersweet.
Oh.
And so you can cut it, but until you chase
always
the
there.
root system,
Yeah.
it just comes right back.
Right.
So again, there's not any hard plans for it at this time. It's something we're going to be thinking about. The contractor is aware of invasive species on the site, and so they're not disposing of it as they standard would landscape material. They are handling it separately.
Okay.
But yeah, something to certainly keep in mind. Compliance and enforcement, nothing new on my end. Other ongoing projects, the Mill River study continues. That should be wrapping up by the end of December, so we should have a draft sometime early December. Certainly we'll share it with you guys. TRC's monitoring of Whitman's Pond has been completed. I shared that annual report with you. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out. We don't have a action plan yet developed for next year. That will be kind of in the works over the course of the winter. We'll keep you guys posted on that. The Smelt Brook fish ladder in the Pond Meadow system, we're still waiting on Army Corps to finalize the funding on their end, but we haven't heard any indications that the project is in any kind of jeopardy or otherwise moving forward. So
That's a surprise, given the
That is a
crazy
surprise.
stuff.
yep. So we'll definitely keep you.
It's probably so small they haven't figured it out yet. They haven't discovered it.
Yeah, right.
Pearl Street Tide Gate. We actually just had a kickoff meeting for this with the state coastal zone management. They're the entity that granted the town this award to undertake a study of the Tide Gate and how we can improve it relative to the salt marsh that's behind it. So keep you posted on that one. Utilities, as George and I discussed earlier today, George is always on top of things. There is some repair work being done to the sewer pump station at Pine and Pleasant Street, as well as Thicket Street. They had generally considered this to be maintenance of the interior of the building, but there is some excavation going on the outside. They probably should have vetted this a little bit better with us, but regardless, it's almost complete, and I'm going to be going down there later this week just to take a look at it. They do have erosion controls around the area of excavation, but being so close to the river there, we definitely want to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
So thanks for bringing that to my attention, George. Planning Department reviews, no new reviews, and our next meeting is December 16th. If you
Andrew, any updates on the Durante? Or is that just going through?
No updates on Durante. Yep, they have to go through. So the permit that they got from us was really the first of many. So they have 6 months ahead of them of permitting at the state and federal level. So they generally don't keep us up to date on what's going on with that whole project. So I don't get regular updates on where they are in the permitting. At some point I certainly will nudge them for an update, but no indications that it's not moving forward as scheduled.
But according to their plan, they were supposed to start construction in remediation in June? Or,
No, it would be next fall at the earliest.
oh, next fall, okay.
Yep.
Next fall, deals. And just one more, on the Citgo site there on Ralph Talbot,
Yes.
what's happening with
Yeah,
that?
so there's the Sitco station over at Ralph Talbot Street, right next to the old Swamp River.
Yeah.
There is contaminated soil on that site. There has been really since the 90s. They've been obligated to clean it up. They've been dragging their feet on it. And at this point, they have an administrative consent order from the state to do so. So at this time, they have to clean up that contaminated soils. That's going to involve some significant excavation of that parking lot and removal of the soils. So they're going to have to file a notice of intent with the commission.
Are they in the buffer zone?
For that. Yes, yes. I mean, that is about 20 feet from the bank of the old swamp. So it's right there. The entire site is within jurisdiction.
Okay.
So we'll be seeing a notice of intent. I don't have a time frame for it, but I expect it in the coming months.
Unfortunately, Weymouth had a history of building gas stations,
Yep.
repair yards along our rivers and streams, and
Yep.
Had
we're
noticed.
getting there to get rid of them all, but it's
Right.
still slogging along.
Cool. I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn, sir.
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Has anybody not been in favor?
We don't know. Scott might not be in favor.
I got one permit.